I'm asking people today about UFOs. I'm wondering, have you ever seen a UFO?
Never in my life.
Any of your friends ever seen one?
Not to my knowledge.
Do you think they exist?
Likely.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
I'm wondering, have you ever seen an unidentified flying object before?
I don't think so. Maybe. I mean, you just dismiss things as satellites and...
Can you tell me about one thing that you think might be a UFO?
Well, sometimes when you see shooting stars, maybe it's not a shooting star.
Right.
You don't know for sure.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm asking people today about UFOs, and I'm wondering, have you ever seen one?
I've seen two.
Could you please tell me about it?
I have to be quick, so I'll say the whole story very quickly. My father was trucking. He was a trucker at the time. Would be gone for 3 or 4 days, and when he would come home, it would be late in the morning, so around 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would wait for him to come home, sitting in my windowsill, which is where I was one night, and I saw a red and a blue dot, kind of like I would call them a star. Swirl around. Then they became exactly.
Okay. And then as I say,
it was almost mathematically proper. They came apart from each other on the same level, and shot a projectile from each, the red and the blue one, which met exactly in the middle of the space between the two stars. There was a large, a bright light, expanded and then contracted. And when it was done, they both swirled around and then went in their separate directions. So I think it was. I don't know if it was. It was done with the exact same projectile from each star. So I don't know if it was a interstellar war or something like that, but nonetheless it was done for appearances, and so that's what I saw. I was about 8 years old. I wrote about it in my journal, and then my father came home in the Mack truck almost exactly afterwards. I've got to go. My name's Andrew.
Thank you very much.
My name's Andrew Logan McKellar.
Thank you very much. I'm doing a show on UFOs, and I'm wondering, have you ever seen a UFO before?
I've seen things I couldn't explain. This guy, I don't know. I didn't follow it up with any. Did anyone else see this? But I've seen things. I grew up on the water, so it's nice and dark over the lake, and I've seen things zip along. I've seen things zipping around over the lake back in the day, in the sky, but I never talked to anybody about it.
Could you tell me what they look like, or if anyone?
It looked like a little, sort of a little circle of lights, like a circle, like not like a plane's configuration. I've seen a million planes. No, it was a little circle of lights, just zipping around, doing impossible shit over the water, and then it was gone. And I was by myself at the beach, so I tell people, and they're like, "Oh, were you tripping?" Or it could have been a weather balloon, whatever, right?
Sure.
There's so many conventional explanations, so it's the kind of thing you keep under your hat, generally speaking.
Well, I've never been shy about sharing my experiences about UFOs.
Right. Well, that's good. It's a good thing. But I think a lot of people are. So you're going to have a tough go of it prying any admissions out of your average citizen.
True.
They don't want people thinking they're wacky. But, science would dictate that there's no way Earth is the only place there's life in the universe. That's
sure.
Idiotic. That to me is some kind of zealotry rather than facing the science that, these elements exist everywhere. Limitless universe.
Carl Sagan said something very similar about us being alone in the world. Yeah.
That would make sense.
Sure. Leave it to a
Absolutely.
great scientist to think about stuff like that.
Well, it's obvious. You do the math. You say, how is it possible? It's impossible that we could be the only point where life formed. It's just insane. They found the compounds necessary to generate life in all kinds of bizarre places. Not to mention, microbes that can exist in extreme conditions and stuff. So
yes, I've heard about that as well.
we can only extrapolate from what we know, which isn't a whole hell of a lot, really, in the grand scheme of things, right?
You're absolutely right. But
So,
hopefully it'll get better.
hopefully, I don't know whether, I think people are just prone to keep their head firmly wedged in the sand for comfort and sanity purposes, right?
Yes.
It's just like waking up every day knowing that your lifestyle is supported by suffering elsewhere. It's the same cognitive dissonance that helps you get through every day that would help you ignore that. So people are kept busy. We're kept hungry and tired, and you got to work so hard, and then you get home, you just want to chill, right? So you're not going to get too inquisitive with your off time,
You're right.
right?
Yeah,
So-
you're absolutely right.
But at any rate, I guess that'd be the extent of my thoughts on the topic presently.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I
Glad to
appreciate
talk to
it.
you.
So I'm doing a show on UFOs, and I'm wondering if either one of you have seen a UFO before?
No, not yet.
Not yet? Have you ever seen one? Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Wondering, can you tell me, have you ever seen a UFO before?
Yeah, I actually have.
Can you tell me about it?
Sure, I was in Calgary, like just outside of Calgary, close to Bragg Creek, in a hot tub. And that's one of the places where they built like a landing pad for them, just like here, come land. And dude, it looked like a shooting star at first, but then it zigged and then it zagged, and I was like hanging out of the thing, like looking at this freaky, and there's like really nothing else that it could have been, in my opinion. And so then when I was there, I would position myself so I'd look at like the whole skyline, and I saw that same phenomenon, if you would want to call it, more than once. I actually believe that, because there's a little bit of adoption in my family, that I'm part,
You think that you're part from another world?
I believe it.
What did the UFO that you saw there in Calgary look like? Did you tell me already?
It looked like a shooting star, but instead of going in a straight line, it would zig, it would zag, and then it would just zip off and kind of fade away.
So it was clear?
It
Or what
looked like
color?
like a star.
Like whitish.
Yeah, it looked like it was far, far away. It didn't look like it was close, but it was definitely doing some kajiggers.
And there was only one?
One at a time.
One at a time. Was it like,
But I've seen it on more than one occasion, because I go and visit them semi-often, and I love just hanging out, drinking beers, and yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hey, cheers, brother.
Don't you watch the news? The world is so messed up. Bother turning on TV, turn